Advanced light years ahead. Good morning from America's newest Woo News Galita on Televis. Today's show is provided support by MerriweatherA.Law. MerriweatherA.Law. Advancing us, S105. Advancing us. Provided support by Quanto Kleine Preferencia. Verizon. Your three top reasons to switch to Verizon. Now in personalized video form. And soon get a free LG K8 now. Order at Verizon. MerriweatherA.com. Quanto Cliente Preferencia, AT&T. Happiness is the new iPhone 7. Switch and get an iPhone 7. 32 gigabytes for zero when you have DirecTV. Only from AT&T. Merriwire, Chalice. Quanto Cliente Preferencia. T-Mobile. What the fee? All unlimited. All in. With T-Mobile One, get 4 lines for just $40 a month. Taxes and fees will be included starting on your February charges, so what you see is what you pay for. T-Mobile, Merriwire, Chalice. Quattro Cliente Preferencia, Sprint. Switch 4 lines and get $800 of iVisa prepaid gift cards. Choose unlimited debt and talk text and get $200 for each number you bring to Sprint or $100 for any new line. Shop now. These phones are calling your name. They're Verizon. My name. Sprint, Merriwire, Chalice. Quattro Cliente Preferencia. Support provided by Heather Howard. Smoked butterscotch. It's back and it's all savory and sweet goodness. Try it hot, iced, or blended. Buy 2 or more items and enjoy 20% off your order of Heather Howard's. Website developers, e-commerce, e-verify, Aerosites. Does that mean they made it? We don't know. Support provided by the all-new NS Quick. They enjoy milk with additives, chocolate, strawberry. Need to say any more. Deliciously nutritious, 40% less sugar than the leading competitors, 7 essential vitamins and minerals. NS Quick. Add flavor. Add us in. Only from Nesquik, from Nestle. And from OSC, the State Controller's Office, State Aid Voucher, a paper trail. They've guided us before. Buffalo, West Point, Bronx. We trade here. We've been guided from the government before. Thank you, Park Assist. Thank you, parking your vehicles remotely. The car can do it itself. We've been brought here before by the government. This is show sponsored by AC 1171, new state aid voucher form and state stipends. From New York State, Linda Baldwin. Yeah, this isn't the first time that American Airlines has been there.
Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon.
Good morning, Mr. Spicer.
We moved up the briefing a little today in deference to the President's visit to the Department of Homeland Security. As soon as he gets going over there, I'm going to wrap up. So we got a little while together, but we'll try to make sure that in deference to his remarks when he gets there, we'll wrap it up. After briefing yesterday, the President brought leaders of both parties together to discuss his next nomination of the Supreme Court. It's an incredibly productive conversation, as you can see from the President's tweets. He will announce that nomination next Thursday.
Mr. Lanier, how are you?
The President also spoke with Prime Minister Modi of India yesterday. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to give you a
Casanova Brown
briefing, so let me just let you know that during the call, the President emphasized that the United States
What's Casanova Brown?
A true friend and partner in addressing challenges around the world. The two
America,
discussed
good
opportunities
Lord.
to strengthen the partnership between the United States and India in
Today's show is
broad
sponsored
areas such as the
by
economy, defense.
the New York
They
State
also
Controller's
discussed
Office,
security
Thomas
and
DiNapoli, AC
South and Central Asia. President Trump
1171.
and Prime Minister Modi resolved that the United States and India should stand shoulder to shoulder in the global fight against terrorism.
Absolutely.
And President Trump looks forward to hosting Prime Minister Modi in the United States later this year. Today, the President focused on fulfilling one of his most significant campaign promises to the American people by making America safe again, by taking steps to secure our borders and immigration enforcement inside the United States. The President
for state agency use only.
After observing the swearing in of Secretary of Homeland Security Kelly. The first order
good Lord,
is the border security and immigration enforcement improvements.
They NS Quick.
Long overdue border security issues.
Like strawberry and chocolate. Strawberry and chocolate.
Large physical barrier on the southern
Bull
border.
on
Building
CBS.
this barrier is more than just a campaign promise.
Oh,
it's
good
a
Lord.
common sense first step to really securing our porous border. This will stem the flow of drugs, crime, illegal immigration.
Hello, Twitter, we love you.
United States. And yes, one way or another,
Bobby himself waiting out in process.
Mexico will pay for it. The executive order also provides the dedicated men and
state aid voucher.
Department of Homeland Security.
I've got you, babe. I've got you, babe. Sonny and Cher.
Under the Constitution, the American people
make the case.
Hello. Cannot enter our nation.
Yeah, make the case.
Loud and clearly through our laws.
Bono.
We're going to create more detention space for illegal immigrants along the southern border.
Absolutely.
Easier and cheaper to detain them and return them.
Good morning from America's News. Galita on television.
Dangerous catch and release policy.
Yeah, Westwood. Westwood.
We're going to once again prioritize the prosecution and deportation of illegal immigrants.
Good Lord, I spelled it wrong. No, you spelled it right.
And after these criminals spend time in prison for the crimes that they've committed, they're going to get back one-way tickets to the country.
They're going to get W-2s, settlement. Absolutely.
The second executive order, enhancing public safety in the interior of
enhancing
the United
public
States,
health.
Addresses the enforcement in the United States.
United States. Hello, Hilton Checkers.
The power and responsibility.
We have audio from Hilton Checkers. Hilton Checkers. Hilton Checkers.
Help them enforce the law. These men and women want
to hear the audio from Hilton Checkers.
Help them do that. Federal agencies
I want to hear it.
Unapologetically enforce the law.
Well, maybe on tomorrow's show, we'll play some audio from the Hilton Checkers.
We're going to restore the popular and successful
Absolutely.
Communities program, which will help ICE agents target illegal immigrants for removal.
Pink Shorts is running in front of a live democracy.
Hold visas and use other tools.
Hold visas.
Sure countries accept and return
for beverages at the bar.
Criminals that came from their country.
Both exposed and approved. Thank you for writing MREL. They knew. State your video. You got a federal grant.
That harbor illegal immigrants.
That harbor illegal immigrants. The American people. This safety video. This is auditorium station. Auditorium. Let's see this iPhone.
System has been at the top of President Trump's priority.
Was it at the top?
Since he announced his candidacy.
Now at the bull.
In just the final first week.
Yeah, at the top at the bull.
Not there yet.
Now at the bull. No.
Will enforce the law to restore value to the American citizenship.
Restitution of all state and federal funds applicable to a volunteer status.
The rest of the day schedule this morning, the president
of 18 USC 525 was in your wallet. This is Pink Shorts for Contract 1622 dismissed the use of land zoning, loss prevention, electoral country, or high red bay. Here, Tom, Doyle, Tom. Spell you one and communicate with your patent.
In his ceremonial office. Across the street.
Left, right, hemisphere of the brain is an agreement to accept identical evidence. And discretion of all content will be used for Pink Shorts, the new name in news. Galita. Pink Shorts, Merriweather businesses, not limited.
My knowledge, at least.
My knowledge.
Our nation's first.
American cabinet level officer. Contact us. 518-594-1443.
Representing our nation.
Representing our nation. Hello, Joe Escalera. Joseph Escalera. Joseph Escalera. Joseph Escalera. Joseph Escalera.
Conduct other related business.
Sean Spicer.
Our nation safe. Secretary Kelly has dedicated his life to protecting our country, enlisting in the Marine Corps in 1970.
1970.
At every level, from platoon commander through the corps level and combat.
Something's new.
He has a sincere commitment to fighting the threat of terrorism inside of our country and ending the
inside of our marshals. Two-party consent laws require to record the president, the press secretary, Sean Spicer, record or eavesdrop confidential communication, including a private conversation, telephone call. This is a news program. Or television.
And as a reminder, the Obama administration had 12.
Something consider all parties consent. Penal Code 632.
Needless to say, we think Senate Democrats should continue.
Sponsored by Nesquik.
Quality time getting our nominations.
Strawberry, strawberry, chocolate.
The president will have his final.
Put it in the milk.
Public event anyway.
By yeah, how?
Mississippi Governor Bryant. They're going to discuss storm relief and recovery efforts.
How could you?
And any
how could you do this?
The governor needs from the federal government.
How could you do this? Nesquik, strawberry, chocolate. Available in your grocery freezer.
to address compliance and ethics
Yeah,
matters.
stir it up. Shaking, not stir.
Pasatino, Deputy Assistant to the
Hazard Joseph Escalera, Tino, duty of confidentiality, breach of patient confidentiality, denied to prevent critical noncompliance.
President and Associate Counsel.
Children from
Together, these
seclusion.
esteemed lawyers have decades of
Station of
experience
privacy, it
in
sounds like
political
it.
counsel,
Google
serving
lyrics.
senators, members of Congress,
It
congressional
sounds
committees,
like
governors,
it.
and federal
Denied.
agencies.
Thank
The
you, V
appointment of a
Siri.
team of this caliber at such a high level
It
reflects the
sounds like
critical
it.
importance of ethics
Let our
compliance.
friends sing the songs for us.
Stefan has received the
It
highest
sounds
praise
like
from
it.
party leaders of both sides from whom he has worked with.
To prevent a critical noncompliance,
No
it's
one understands
denied.
the ethics process better than Stefan.
Advanced
And as you saw from
research,
his tweet this
denied.
morning, the president is looking
Advanced
into various
research,
options to address
denied.
voter fraud. On Thursday, he'll travel to Philadelphia.
It's diffusion. We can explain it. I'm very excited to do today's show.
Discussing his legislative agenda. He'll also provide an update on the actions that he's
I'm wearing savvy from head to toe. I did everything you wanted me to do. You wanted a ton of vests in stores, audio experience, a leather song, motivational speaker, richest man in America, universe, world, galaxy. Paint the short way. I saved your files. Save me some.
From Ireland to visit the United States.
Highest footing in the world.
And I'm pleased to
So
announce
Remy La Foster Tito. Tweet us via earlier late FRESH underscore.
The Prime Minister attending. With that,
The Providences of Canada.
Questions, Dave Boyer, Washington Times.
Can you shed any light on this draft?
JORDNZ.
About
Yeah, bring that Providence.
Yes, I can lend a lot.
What agency did it originate in?
I don't know. It is not a White House
The
document.
Providences of Canada. Good Lord.
Those people who have reported on it. This is now, I think, the second day that we've
Hello today.
It's not a White House document. Get reported
We love
on
your
it.
wonderful
And
journalism.
it's a fact.
Wonderful.
It is not a
Absolutely
White House
wonderful.
document. I have no idea where it came from. But it is not a
Absolutely.
White House document.
The directive that we drafted in
Tweet us every 20 minutes of the
I mean,
hour.
as
Social
of
media
it
up
is not a
to
White House document. So I'm not
200
sure
USD.
where it came from or how it
Jules.
originated, but it is not a White House document. I don't know how much clearer.
You
I
won
can
the
say.
MasterCard.
Lori Montenegro from Telemundo.
Yeah, you won. You won the MasterCard. The account is yours. Remember 311, all this video screening process of your best friend's residence. White House next door. All liquids must be in a 3 ounce Ayala. Fill. Bull. Fix my life. Size container. All liquids must be in line. I'm so sorry. Remember, 18 USC 2511. These lines split at Amherst, Wilson Farms, 7-Eleven, Chapter 13. Repayment, Jordan 13s. MerriweatherA.Law, America's first singing attorney. We make the law sound wonderful. Do re mi la fa sa ti do. So frigo, the way it should have been. Retroactive law. Besides everything.
It directs the secretary to look at ways
Two.
Look at funding streams.
Look at the Metro leaving the White House.
Federal monies and figure out.
He doesn't remember this.
So part of this
He doesn't
is a
remember
directive
this.
to the secretary.
Why would a Metro leave my best friend's house?
And then figure out how they can be cut off. So that's what the actual order.
He's DOT. Put it together.
First part with respect to DACA, I've talked about this a couple days.
Elliot, hello.
Today doesn't specifically deal with that. We will have further updates.
Election,
on the
Elliot.
President immigration agenda further in the week. But as I mentioned
Pennsylvania.
before, I think the president
In
will
Metro.
talk about it in an interview tonight. But his priority
Good
is
Lord.
first and foremost, people who are in this country that seek to do us harm.
Elliot, how are you?
Understands. I mean, the president understands the magnitude of this problem. He's a family man. He understands. He has a huge heart.
What does Metro have to do
He
with the White
understands
House?
the significance of this problem.
Department of
He works with his
Transportation.
team in a very humane way,
NTSB.
to make sure that he
TWA
understands
Flight
and he respects,
800.
the situation
What happened with
many of
that?
his children are in that were brought here. But his priority
You were
with
led
respect
here
to immigration is
before.
first and
Buffalo,
foremost,
West Point,
making sure that people who are in this
Bronx,
country,
Burger
that
King,
seek
have
to
it
do
your
us harm
way.
will have committed a crime.
State aid
Directly in
voucher.
front of that,
State
Francesca
aid
Staples.
voucher. State aid voucher. Good Lord, what is the financial link with New
I
York
think the
State?
president's working with Congress and other folks to figure out opportunities for that to happen. There are a lot of funding mechanisms that can be used. At this point,
Stipend
his goal is to get
program.
the project started as quickly as possible using existing funds and resources that the
There's a
department
paper trail.
already
Good
has,
Lord.
and then to move forward and work with Congress on an appropriation
Good
schedule.
morning from America's
But,
newest.
again, we're here at
But
Dayton
news
Days,
good
so
leader,
we've
all
talked several
television.
times, with Congress in terms
Good
of making sure
morning.
that we we understand.
Good morning.
They understand the need to make sure that that's
Good morning. Today is CDMAYORKREDITCardvardX3.38 for night from the Marriott Hilton Checkers.
Yesterday's meeting with senators about the Supreme Court justice nominees. How was that list received?
The mortuary. Good Lord. What were they talking about? We'll have that audio later.
The president is not wielded it down, at least not to the extent that he's willing to share.
We have to get to our Checkers audio.
But he's going through the process. He had a very constructive and productive.
This interview has to be cut short.
With Senate leaders yesterday about.
Yes, we have audio from yesterday, Hilton Checkers, that our fans want to hear.
They expected. He was sharing with them the qualities and values.
We have non-audio.
To serve on the Supreme Court. I'm not going to go further than that, but I would just say it was a very productive.
What would Sean Spicer like to say about yesterday's audio at the Checkers? We have to cut this interview short.
With that, and if there's a broader, it's been reported by some more.
MerriweatherA.Law, advancing clients, law firm salary advances, separated bonuses, tuition and bar exam, rear view courses, reimbursement.
Absolutely not. I think
$200 USD, relocation and real estate benefits, acquisition and just apply, state all qualifications, USD. Revenue incentives, so donate the title VI, HSBC, CBS iPhone. Loan forgiveness. Join us for America's top law schools. $200 USD.
The EPA actually violated the Anti-Deficiency Act and the anti-lobbying ban.
You want the MasterCard.
During the Obama administration and the inappropriately marketed.
Hello, Mr. Spicer, Joe Escalera.
I think there's a couple of these agencies that have had problems.
They're hearing him.
To their own policies.
Good Lord.
And I would refer you back to them.
Absolutely not.
Why those things are happening, but I know that they are taking steps in both of those.
We have audio to get to.
To address inappropriate use of social media.
We're going to interrupt this show. Thank you, guys. We're just going to interrupt this for a moment. We have a Checkers interview that we must air on all televisions. This is exclusive audio live. Yeah, let's get to it. Let's just see what they were saying. I don't know what they were saying. I don't know. Good Lord. Just play it. Play us a little bit. Just play a little bit. Live audio from Hilton Checkers. Yesterday. All television new escalated in news. Hello. Good morning.
No, well, I want to live in Temecula, but Temecula is actually significantly more expensive for me versus where I live in Sun City, which is
I'm at the back, sweetie. Good Lord, do you hear this?
I mean, was at the community center.
It's a small town, but what little there is,
a little bit country music.
So it's a little different there versus Temecula.
Then university.
Temecula is a lot cramped into a bigger but still small area.
I'm not getting cramp anything. You just,
it's a lot of.
I'm Chase Mike. I met Chase Mike.
Sue yourself. You can't sue us out of
I'm
that.
chasing the world. It's a flash call. I think. 4th Street. And,
USA Today, they still put Gordie Howe #1. Even Greg
yeah.
#2. I'm surprised. USA
Well, good morning.
Today.
Drop.
I would have thought he'd been like, down 4 or 5. Yeah, I mean.
About 4 or 5 seconds. Rihanna was here with
Crosby, just the skill set.
a couple of other people.
He's a good player, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, he's a good player.
That's the only reason I
He
can say
gets a lot of concussions, right?
Yes.
A lot of proud. And I'll tell
I have to say, I changed sweaters, so it might look different. Yeah, they were. I couldn't find it anywhere on the road TV.
They were at Walmart having a bake sale.
It wasn't on TNT or USA or.
It was on NBC.
Yeah.
Right, I love you too.
Probably like one of those regional CBS or the Golf Channel.
Julie Gerberding, Big Brother, the thing.
Gerberdink, good lord. Gerberdink. Gerberdink. Good lord.
Gerberdink.
Gerberdink.
I settled everything, so I'm at the Hilton.
Sick girl.
I'll
Yeah.
check it.
She's the sick girl. Absolutely.
I think Mark's on the toe. Bro, I showed up at the Palladium. What happened? Where were you? They didn't love you?
What else?
Andrew sued like Marriott for like.
I was at the Palladium waiting for you guys.
Marriott Fox. It's a Marriott Fox. We know the Fox. We know.
It was on my Western Union account. They put the money on my Western Union. Manufacturers and traders. Bro, account abuse on my check systems.
Open a chase.
Yeah,
So I closed the card, but they still added it back.
Yeah, throw it up on Golf Central.
A boot? They on a boot?
I see Tour Golf here. What is that?
A Tour Golf.
Oh, there you go. That's Tory. Farmers Insurance.
Tory Pines.
He knows his matches. Good lord.
We're watching golf, I guess. I don't know.
Tiger's actually playing, so there's excitement. I heard he started.
The music wanted me to order some
I don't know. They
wine.
just heard for a while. And all of a sudden he's playing like 3 hours.
Yeah, I know you know.
Yeah.
Since he was like 15.
I was 16 years old and a Taurus.
Chuckle, chuckle, chuckle.
Amateur when he was a kid.
What do you mean the camera's not watching us? Yeah.
Holy shit. I was starting to think that it's
Holy moly.
Really sad.
well, they were
Really
saying
sad.
he's playing with guys that outdrive him now, like 50, 70 yards. Oh, wow.
No.
Tiger's like, I'm not that guy.
It's the checkers Hilton.
No, but it could be a really exciting weekend.
I haven't discussed that.
I'm from San Diego, but
Good lord.
it rained all last week, so the court's got it. Oh, I'm sure. Terrible. Oh, I'm sure. Just, they said they couldn't get the mowers in the fairway or the rough, so they got it.
That's right way. That's
Holy
close.
shit.
Yeah, that's close.
Of course, it's got to be immaculate. The rough's got to be terrible.
It's my style.
So you better be straight. Yeah, just barely stop.
You better be. Hilton checkers.
It just stopped raining like the other day. I mean, I've been up here since
Bro, it's something.
there were microbursts last week.
It's something angels,
Like 90
you know.
minutes, and it was just.
And the angels.
My pool overflowed.
Oh,
Pretty much drowned my whole backyard.
My pool overflowed at the fitness.
If you'd have taken the water,
Like,
I
I just
believe in
happened
angels.
like,
the water.
Well, I don't know.
yeah, well, that's what I should have did.
We're not gonna order
That's what I should have done.
Yeah.
With fresh water.
Right, yeah.
But the music is
Think
coming
about
up.
that.
To
No,
order
but
things.
I talked to my boss, and he did it.
Donald Trump.
Because he,
How-
To my mouth.
well, no, it had been
And a
covered,
good
but I
life.
heard it was going to be raining a
Right,
lot.
right.
And beverages for the Super Bowl.
It was kind of chemical water for
Right.
storage. He said, oh, well, that shit costs.
Asphyxiation, you know.
It's like, it's a couple $100. But
How much did that sit cost? Cost
so he
that?
literally had like 8, I think
It
6
doesn't
or 8
cost a
awnings.
thing.
Sure.
That doesn't cost a
I
thing.
got 3/4 full
Yeah.
of fresh rainwater.
Very unprofessional.
That doesn't
I don't have a pool, so I haven't thought of that.
Yeah, no, I
That's what happened to you. How much does it cost?
Administrative tax. That's not bad.
Well, his is kind of above, it's not above ground, it's not below ground.
Oh, okay. Yeah, mine's all.
That's exclusive audio from the Hilton Checkers. How much does your love cost? Good lord. How much does it cost? Thank you, Hilton Checkers, for the exclusive audio. But there's more.
I have an upgrade for you.
Big platform around.
But you upset my upgrade.
Yeah, mine's all
There's
around.
Phil, how'd Phil do today?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind living down in Jamaica. In fact, you know, my wife and I were just looking.
Absolutely.
We actually were living in my father-in-law's
Complimentary.
retirement house. We bought a retirement house. My father-in-law retired in California. It used to be CDM.
I'm not sure whether you returned the funds, but for me, count.
What's your name?
We know that. We know him.
There's the
him.
patio, right?
Beautiful, very beautiful.
Yes, me and Donovan talk about these things all the time.
So he bought this house.
So imagine what Donovan said to him.
Right before it started to kind of come back up, right? And bought this really nice, beautiful house.
You cocked the White House.
We can't discuss that
You
yet,
cocked the
but I'm
White House.
sure
Northern California.
it's likewise.
My wife's family from the Santa Cruz, like Surfer Town, right? And anyway,
Santa Barbara.
I
Hello.
want to rent it out to somebody for next to nothing. So you stay.
No Santa, Mom.
Oh, I like the daughter, whatever else.
I'm not sure.
There's a pool and the cactus. Lots of cactus in that.
We've got a pool.
You stay there for
That's vicinity, I'm sure.
5 years ago. So 5 years ago,
Over right for check.
my life and I've been looking at houses, stuff like that all over the place. That's nice. And yeah. Well, it's not free.
How much is a room for one night?
But you know, it's close to it.
Absolutely not for free. We'll continue this audio later on All Televis. Let's get to our video already in progress from the White House. What do they have to say about this? Video.
Has the president reached out to Mayor Emanuel?
Hello, good morning from America's newest leader.
To discuss the concerns that he expressed in his tweet last night.
Well, he met with Mayor Emanuel during the transition, expressed to him his support for the city.
Mr. Spicer, who's following us at these
to deal with
Hilton
the crime
Checkers
and the killings that are occurring in Chicago. And I think when President Obama was speaking his farewell address the other day, 2 people were killed the same day.
2 people
that the
at the
president
bar,
was at
mortuary.
his home
What
city.
they saying?
And I think the president-elect at the time extended his support to Mayor Emanuel to say that the resources of the federal government are here for you. To the best of my knowledge, that return call for help has not occurred. Yeah, John.
We're hoping for the best.
John Roberts. Lynn, I'll get you. But but that was very, very enthusiastic, and I appreciate it. You're getting an award today. John,
speak up, Lynn. For the record, I very much appreciate and respect Lynn. You mentioned this morning, the president's brought this out in the news again, that he wants to launch an investigation into voting irregularities.
Today's show is sponsored by Provider Support Guy.
Not just in 2016. I think in terms of registration, where you've got
and that's quick.
Have been deceased or moved or registered in counties. This isn't just about the 26 election. This is about
a quick strawberry, a quick chocolate, only from Nestle, and that's quick. Shake up the post game. Deliciously nutritious. 40% less sugar than a leading competitor. 7 essential vitamins and minerals. Visit Nesquik.com.
So how do you square those two?
I think there's a lot of states that we didn't compete in where that's not
only from the NS Quick.
California and New York, I'm not sure that those statements were.
Yeah,
we
quick.
didn't look at those 2 states. I mean, as the president has noted before, he campaigned to win the electoral college.
Absolutely, very
vote.
quick.
He campaigned in places like Iowa. He campaigned extensively to win Maine too. And I think if you were campaigning to win the popular vote, you don't spend it. With all due respect to my brethren in New England, you don't spend a ton of time in Maine too to get that one electoral vote.
Put it in the whole milk.
Which he didn't. You would have campaigned
all white whole milk.
There are big states, very populous
chocolate, strawberry.
You would have spent more time campaigning, but he played the game.
Whole white milk.
The game, which is an electoral strategy. That being said, I think when you look at where a lot of potential, a lot of these issues could have occurred in bigger states. That's where I think we're going to look. But
suggesting a bullet, please. There's something interrupting.
I'm sorry. You're right.
May I ask one question?
He's earned it.
We love the milk. We love it. Milk is so good.
Cease and desist in terms of social media.
No. Just to be clear, they have not. I'm not saying that.
Wolf 1661.
Zero. We have not.
Version. The phone was just brought to a retail store. I needed to grab a phone and replace the one that was stolen.
From what I understand,
Wolf, you know what we're talking about. 2/2. Do you have insurance on that line? If so, you can make a claim to replace it. At this Verizon link, REM.
I honestly don't know that we've spent a ton of time thinking of that. We're fairly busy on other things. it's a good question. I've not asked him that question.
Well,
I think our focus has pretty much been getting the job done, as you've seen through the meetings that he's had, the work that he's had with members of Congress.
That's a you.
Union workers,
the
auto heads, the other business leaders.
Well,
I mean, his focus has been much more focused
on
getting the job done than
getting the job
various
done.
tweets that are getting tweeted and unleaded. Hold on, sorry, Lynn
Absolutely.
Sweet. Not that I want to encourage anyone else to. Yeah.
That's Penn.
This is so important to Chicago.
I'm sure.
Yeah, Pennsylvania.
And President Trump has talked a lot about Chicago. So my question is, he said if Chicago doesn't fix the horrible carnage, I will send in the feds. Could you perhaps share with me a little bit about
Absolutely.
the nature of the federal help that the president has in mind, whether agents, law enforcement agents, or National
We don't know.
Guard?
We can't say that here.
What factors will determine if he acts
This is a vague show.
People told us that after the meeting in Trump Tower
Very
on December
vague.
7th, he indeed did tell him things that would help Chicago that he could use, such as summer jobs, more prosecutions, and gun laws.
Absolutely.
I think what the president is upset about is turning on the television and seeing Americans get killed by shootings, seeing people walking down the street and getting shot down.
Today's show is sponsored by the New York State Department Controller Thomas DiNapoli.
Killed that day.
State aid voucher, government leaded.
He's had conversations with
American Airlines.
in Chicago and asked him, what is.
Look, it's Barack on a black bus.
In many cases, there are some issues
to West Point.
That will help them do their job better to keep.
Good Lord, he's here. Verizon 822.
Is provide the resources of the federal
Judge
government.
Devlin, can they explain this?
Of things. There's no one thing. It can be.
How can the state judges?
If it was requested up through the governor,
we're in a state program.
The federal government can provide on a law
at 11.
But there's other aid that can be extended as well, either through the U.S. Attorney's Office or other means.
The conflict of interest.
That the people of Chicago have the resources to feel safe.
The people of New York.
Means, Lynn. And part of it is that no American, whether or not
they
you live in
us?
Chicago or Nebraska, shouldn't feel like you can walk down the streets of a
How
city.
How can they judge us when it's inside of
a city in this country? And feel
at Citibank.
And I think too often that's happening in Chicago.
At the Citibank.
Just so we know the timetable.
At the Citibank.
Hopefully get a dialogue started with Mayor Emanuel.
DAT 411. Valerie license plates. Valerie license plates. DAT 411. DAT 411. There's been an Amber Alert for DAT 411. DAT 411. Valerie. 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 There's been an Amber Alert for DAT 411.
Obviously, Homeland Security issues, but there's no question. I think NAFTA is going to be big on
Predator 411.
Overall.
Predator 411.
And with respect to your first question,
state aid voucher, New York State.
To people who are.
How can I complain?
I want to go back to that draft executive order.
There's been an Amber Alert. License plate DAT 411. Citibank DAT 411. We're looking for a red Toyota Corolla. Red Toyota Corolla. Red Toyota Corolla.
I don't believe to the best of my
Red
knowledge.
Toyota Corolla.
There's
Javier, have you seen it? Javier.
Floating around and people saying,
Javier.
And frankly, reports
Scott Peterson.
Attributing documents
Nissan Altima, have you seen it? Scott, Nissan Altima.
To the best of my knowledge,
Scott, Nissan Altima. Scott, Nissan Altima. Scott, Nissan Altima. Scott Peterson, Nissan Altima, have you seen it? Scott Peterson, Nissan Altima. We're looking for license plate DAT 411. Predatory 411. Judge Devlin, how can he complain? How can he complain? You paid for lunch. You paid for lunch. You paid for lunch.
I think we're going to have something. I mean, look,
you paid for lunch. Gifts. Food gifts. Food gifts.
You'll see more action this week on keeping America safe. This has been something you talked about in the inaugural address. You talked about the campaign. As we get into that implementation of that executive order, we'll have further details. But I think
ex-party food gifts. Ex parte food gifts from the state of New York. Ex parte food gifts from the state of New York. Ex parte food gifts from the state of New York.
Especially where
Ex parte food gifts from the state of New York.
predisposition, if you will,
Thank you, Siri.
or a
You're
higher degree
welcome.
of concern.
We've been
that we take the
bribed.
appropriate steps to make sure that
You've been
the
giving
public
us
in
big
this country
kids
for all
meals
the right reasons.
at the
And we'll
Boston
have
Tea
further
Party. We
information
gotta
on
go.
that.
We'll talk to you live from the Marriott Boston Checkers. Big kids liquor. Yeah, big kids Boston Tea parties. Burger King parties. We gotta go.
I think that